well spoken, generally speaking.
Yeah, I can kind of run with it.
Yeah, like no, but seriously, like you speak. Sometimes you get people, but like you have your voice is very. So hey, MS Film Co, how's it going? So your voice is very like it's 6:59, bro. I don't get what that means. Oh, I see.
6:59, bro.
Yeah, so it's 1 minute early. We're 1 minute early, so that's
awesome.
That's good. So we're here with Ryan. Sometimes Lee would have joined us. I mean, it's good to have a third wheel, but I literally asked him an hour ago. I should have given him some heads up. And Ryan just officially started this year. So Ryan, you started during COVID.
It's like I did. So I officially started this year. Like I went legit this year. I did actually start putting tents up last year, like really when COVID started happening. So yeah, basically I was doing like Kijiji cash work last year. I wasn't registered. I wasn't insured. I don't recommend anybody doing that, but that's the route I took just because COVID hit and I had all these ideas to buy these tents. And I was like, well, I'm still doing that. And then I was like, oh no, what is this COVID stuff? So I held off for a little bit, but now officially this year I have registered, I am insured. So I'm having a legit run at it from now on.
Yeah. When you were doing the Kijiji stuff, like what items did you start with?
Okay, so I started with two 2020 high peak tents from Tent and Table with the wall kits. And then I bought 120 used chairs for $500. And I bought 12 6-foot Costco tables and some string lights from Costco. And that's kind of what I started with. I think I got going for just about $8,000. And I made my money back in like 12 weeks.
Yeah, I was just checking on my payment processing system, which we use Good Shuffle, by the way. Link in the description if anybody's interested. In fact, click the link because I get a few cents from it. So go ahead and click that. But no, they're good. We do actually use yeah. So we and you know we'll get to your question there. We'll talk about that in a bit. And yeah, glad to be back on YouTube. It's been coming a couple weeks. You know, I've been posting maybe like once every week, every 2 weeks. I hope to get back on board. You know, with COVID up in Canada, people are like in Canada, people are like really following the rules. They don't want to like hang out.
Oh yeah.
But in the States, I see you guys are like doing, whoever's here from the States. I mean, you guys are you guys seem to be doing some stuff, especially Texas, Kansas, like, you know, Midwest. Up in Canada, everybody's like scared and huddled. I don't know. We're too polite, you know. We're not
locked down. Yeah, everybody's just following by the rules.
Right. So, but that's actually an interesting start because I just started with like tables and 10 by 10s. So it's nice that you actually started with like something real, like 20 by 20 high peak tents. And I was saying, I was looking at the Good Shuffle payment processing system, and I noticed how much money I made from my 20 by 20s. I made tens of thousands of dollars, and I was like, that's a good item. That's a good solid item. You know, you're having a 40-person party, 20-person party. 20 by 20 high peak tent is sick. So
you got two of them. You can also like put them together with the rain gutter, and you can offer that 20 by 40 option, right? So you can kind of advertise that you got two tents instead of just the two 20 by 20s, two different sizes, right?
Yeah, you can say 20 by 40 because people don't know.
They don't know. Yeah.
They don't know. They're like, they look at it. They're like, I don't, you know, they can't tell. The only thing I would say is though, the gutter is a little ugly. I can't,
It can be. Yeah. So I got the Tent and Table tents, but I'm using a Tentnology gutter. I just happened to get one used from another rental company. And it looks to me a little bit cleaner. I know they're basically the same, but the Tentnology one does seem to look a little bit nicer. But I mean, if you don't have it super tight with the Velcro, it does kind of look sloppy. So if you want to do it right, you got to, you know, get your tents super close together, make everything super tight, and you can kind of pull it off.
Yeah. Yeah. So quick answer there I think in Canada, there's quite a bit of guns per capita. Like I own 5. Hey, where's my pal? Hold on. I don't know what it's called in the States, but in Canada it's called it's called PAL, right? So
There you go.
so we own guns here too. Like I think like 5 per person. Like I think that's pretty much the average. Because all the hunters own like 20 or 30. It's like
Tons, yeah. Yeah, I got buddies that just have so many guns, and like I don't own any, but a couple of my buddies do, and it's like, oh my god, there's so many guns.
Because we got space, you go to the country and you can, you just shoot. There's good hunting up in Canada. There's less kind of people, right? So, P Orchard there, like if you ever want to talk guns,
Less is your guy.
So yeah, you know what? What do you get? Like, did you buy more stuff for this season? Whatever.
Yeah, I did. So I was able to buy one more 20 by 20 tent. They were popular, so I went with one more of those. And then I just bought 6 of those impact canopies from Costco. I just figure I'd get asked for them all the time. So the 10 by 10s. So they're easy to make money off of, and they're easy to go up. So that's why I went with those. And then I just bought 28-foot tables and another 120 chairs. So it's kind of starting to go, you know what I mean? You buy another tent, and then I'm hoping this year I can, keep dumping more money into it and keep growing it. But I'm still like running out of my garage right now. So I'm getting to that point where I'm like, where do I go from here? Because it's starting to get way too full. I had to build like storage units in there just to kind of keep everything up on the walls, but I'm starting to outgrow it. So I'm hoping next year, it's that point where I do outgrow it and I guess move into a storage unit, or maybe I don't think I'm ready for a storefront yet. I don't think I'm there for like another 2 years. Because it costs a lot of money, like to have a place like what you have and stuff. I'm just not there. So maybe the next step, storage unit, and then maybe I'm hoping to kind of go into the pole tents. I mean, I do want to get bigger in a sense where I can do larger events, but right now I've never even set up a pole tent before, mind you. So I have no idea how they go up. I've never done one. All I've dealt with is high peak frame tents.
Right. And so what's your background? And like before you were doing, this. Okay, first of all, are you doing this full time? No, you're not.
No. Okay. No, this is an evening and weekend thing for me. I'm a full-time high-rise construction worker.
Go on. Sorry.
No, yeah. So I do concrete work, high-rise, 7 to 3 every day, Monday to Friday, lots of overtime. So I don't have like all the time in the world after work. So I'm constantly like on YouTube, watching Adam, just learning tips and efficiency tips and how to, make things happen and without mistakes. So I can just kind of, bang these tents out within like that little bit of sunlight that I have after work. Right. So any tips, let me know because I need to speed my stuff up.
Yeah. Well, when I'm asking you a bunch of questions and then, I'll get a sense for where the issues are. Sometimes though, like it's just growing pains.
Right.
It's good to learn as much as possible. And for example, like the vehicle you use, like the thumbnail for this video, I just quickly I need a thumbnail, so I just took your van picture and threw it up there.
Right on. Yeah.
Like that's a problem right there. Like the cargo van, although it's a great piece of equipment to start with, you can't ramp it. And you can't power tailgate it. So
it's all hand bombing everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So now, mind you, what I would kind of recommend for that, and I've been playing with this, is they have a cart, like Canadian Tire sells it, Princess Auto sells it. They have a cart that hydraulically lifts up. So, so at least from your garage or unit, I mean, you can get it up to the level of the van. And then if you have some sort of now, the nice thing with you is you're in construction. So all this I'm scared of pole tents. Like you'll figure that out because
that'll come easy. I'm sure. I just got to do it. Really.
Exactly. You just got to do it. And same with updating the van. So we're doing this because we have a cargo van. Although there's trailers and now we're looking into cube trucks. We've been renting them, but man, cube trucks are so nice with exactly. So 16-foot box truck. Picnic City is just saying that is just it's just beautiful, especially if you get that power tailgate. I mean, it's going to change your life. But if you have like a piece of plywood on some sort of wheel system that goes out, I mean, that might be because it's hard to get from the cargo van. It's hard to get the things at the freaking back, you know?
Yeah, I know. And then the other thing that slows me down, it's the worst part about my setup here. The house I live in, the garage, the door doesn't open. So they turned it into a bedroom before we moved in, and it hasn't been converted back. So there's this big wall there right in front of the garage door, so it doesn't open. So I actually use the back entrance, which is just a normal size door, open that door up, and then another normal size door to get outside. I got to walk around the back and then load up. So yeah, that's slowing me down big time. But again, I bought the cargo van so I can load everything up the night before, take it all with me to work, because the first year I was running out of a pickup truck and I just couldn't leave everything just in the back of the pickup truck. So I bought the cargo van, fill that up the night before, take that with me to work, and then I go from work right to the jobs. So that's, I mean, it's working for me right now. Again, I get that's where I need to speed my stuff up, and maybe a storage unit could even help me. Just having something I can pull right up to, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and also depending on like what you're running or like and your ability to predict, you can also start leaving your. I mean, obviously you kind of have to be in a secure area, but you can leave some stuff in the van. Like if you,
of course,
Right, and that's where we're kind of doing that more. In fact, we're trying to get a trailer just for frame tents, so the stuff will just be in the trailer. We'll never unload it. The trick is like, the trick is if it gets stolen, like that's a lot.
You're screwed. Oh yeah.
So P Orchard. It's weird. Sometimes I'm saying these like YouTube names. And
P Orchard.
Like, or I don't think there's an orchard going, like an actual orchard. Like,
okay, there's a comment thing up here. I did not even see that. I'm like stuck on this private chat. Okay, so there's all the comments. Got it. Cool.
Yeah, just don't watch yourself, like, because sometimes. You get it. Yeah. We should talk about this earlier, but.
Where do I live? I am just 40 minutes east of Toronto, Ontario. I'm in Oshawa, Ontario.
So and Picnic City, by the way, and the previous comment there is also from. I think he does business mostly in Toronto. Cool. So it's good to and we just randomly picked. Hold on here. What am I? Ryan to join us. So he got lucky. He got lucky. He's on the screen.
It worked out.
And we'll put your info, like even the YouTube channel, so you'll get a few initial.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool because I'm gonna start posting videos there. I've never really done YouTube, so I mean I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to being on camera. It's like a foreign ground for me. So some of my videos are super awkward, and I got to work on that.
Yeah, you'll get it. Again, you're well spoken, and that must help you on the phone and stuff like that because people like to talk. Yeah, people like to talk to people that sound normal.
Right.
So that's a good question. I was wondering the same thing actually. The Chevy, the Chevy van there. What year is it?
It's a 2008. It's got a 6.6 liter Duramax in it, 3,500. It's a great work truck. I mean, it's built to work. So honestly, it can handle a lot more than what I do with it. It just came up for a really good price. It came up for $7,500. I had a 2009 F-150. I sold that for $6,700. Put $800 into this, and I picked this thing up.
And Picnic City's saying, we never unload. Picnic City literally just rents picnic tables. It's like most insane concept ever, and maybe I shouldn't say it because maybe people will get the idea. But I mean, he's monopolized the market in Toronto, I think, on that. But most people are watching from different places.
Of course, yeah.
I think it's a genius idea. And think about all the restaurants that were doing like a patio only this year.
Yeah.
He was making bank while some people were like suffering, So
I bet picnic tables. Now, how do they like fold down at all, or are they just like you just load them up like a big picnic table? How does that work?
Maybe he'll answer us in a bit.
Yeah.
There are like even Costco. You mentioned Costco. Even Costco sells like picnic tables that compress. I wouldn't say fully fold, but they compress to a smaller size, maybe like 35% of their original size, I noticed. So they're still pretty damn bulky and pretty damn heavy. I don't like picnic tables for that reason.
Right.
I think definitely if like it caters to a certain crowd, like again, restaurants or anybody who's doing patio. Out in Calgary here, Alberta, Canada, Western Canada, for those who don't really know what names I'm saying. If patio isn't like hot, like there's barely any patios in my city, so it's actually kind of sad because I do like the patio, lifestyle. You go out.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. Like, having Toronto at my disposal, it's all patios all summer long. So, but believe it or not, I don't really get those jobs. I get like backyard suburb jobs. That's really it. But I would like to get into the restaurant side of things. I just find I've had a couple restaurants reach out to me and they're like, we want your tent for 2 months. And I'm like, well, I can't do that because I make a lot of money on it every weekend. I need to put it up and take it down, put it up, take it down. I just can't leave it somewhere for 2 months right now. I just don't have enough inventory.
Yeah, like depending on the restaurant that you talk to, like this is what I not that I expect anybody to watch my videos, or at least not all of them to know these things, but I do have a video actually that talks about this. But you can just price it out. Ridiculous price, and sometimes people say yes, and you're like, what? And then it's easy because you just have it up. You're getting good money, and you're like, whatever.
You just check on it every now and then, every other day or whatever. You drive by, check on it. Yeah, I guess that's something I could do. Like if a weekend rental on a 20 by 20 or a 20 by 40, let's say $750, charge them $1,000 per weekend for the 2 months they want it. So 8 weeks, $1,000. Shoot them an offer of like 8,000, and maybe they'll take it.
Say no, but like
if they say yes, I mean, sure, why not, right?
Yeah. Or what I would do in that case, I would charge them $3,900, and then just go buy a tent.
Another one. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Because you literally just paid, like they just paid for another tent for you, and then you don't have to worry about it. And it's $39, which I think like here at least you can get a 20 by 20 for like, well, less than that anyway. So
yeah. Who do you buy your high peak frame tents through?
So there's two places that sell them here in Western Canada, Special Event Sales and Western Warner Tent Shelter Systems. Yeah. And they're both, I believe, Special is like, they're pretty much the same from either or. And it's weird because Special also has a rental division. I mean, some of their people might be spying on us. So they're like,
oh, they rent and they manufacture.
Yeah, like they say it's a different company, but like I don't really, you know what I mean? Like the logo was like the freaking same. So yeah. Other than S, and there's an R, like the SES or SER rentals sales.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, you're you know what? You're on the right track. Like everything you said. I know we were doing a live stream with Corny Carney, which by the way, it was a fun live stream. So I suggest you watch it. If you're really bored one night, that's maybe you can. He knows Tiger King, so that's the.
Hey, I see him on YouTube. That guy is super cool, and he's got the marketing game just down. Like all this stuff is just quality. You know what I mean?
It's different, and like I mean, he has a brand to himself, right? Like
for sure.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. Ryan's throwing out this question. Like, do you ever plan on doing inflatables?
I thought about it, but I actually I came across somebody that lives like 20 minutes away from me, and they run an inflatable company. So I just kind of swapped information with them, and if I ever get asked for it, I'm just sending it their way, and vice versa. If they get asked for a tent, they just call me. So maybe one day I might buy like I don't know, maybe a combo, like the water slide jumper combo, maybe. I don't know. Not anytime soon, though, with what's going on right now.
Yeah. Like, Ryan, we know Justin from Party Rental Knowledge there. And I was surprised at how big of a community of inflatable event owners there are. Like, I thought it's huge, like, especially in the States. Yeah. I think Canada has a smaller season for like outdoor, like a little bit. It's not terrible. You still get like 5-6 months, but really probably the people that are renting inflatables, especially like water slides, you only get like 3-4 months of prime.
Yeah.
So, that's the problem. I think for us Canadians, I think it's probably hot in the States because you just rent it so much more. So I know a lot, like I'm talking to Canadian event owners and they kind of seem to stray away from inflatables because like there's other items that make just more money, per time. Per season, they'll make more because chairs you can essentially rent almost all year round, and tables and stuff like
same
that.
tables, yeah.
Inflatables, not so much.
No.
So yeah, like what? Like, I mean, going back to what I was saying, I think you really, because people are always asking me, what do I need to buy first? And tables, tents, and chairs. Really,
that's where you got to start with the basics and then just run with it and see where you go. And then like people will call you and ask for things and you just got to kind of document that. What are they asking for? What do they want? What does your area want for party rentals? Take note of it. And then I think I watched Adam say this once, like once he gets a call for something 10 times, he goes out and buys it. So I'm trying to implement that same thing. And then for me, it was canopies. Like people were calling all the time for canopies. I'm like, okay, I got to get canopies. Like people are calling for the 10 by 10, the 10 by 20 option. And I finally just pulled the trigger on them. Yeah.
And the Costco canopies from Impact, like, because I know one of their sales guys, which he's great, by the way. But he's like, oh, they're so much better if you buy direct. You know what? The Costco ones are just fine.
They're the same thing. Fine. Yeah, they're good enough, especially if you anchor them properly. You install it yourself, you anchor it properly. I mean, I don't know if you just let people come and pick them up from your place, but for me anyway, I can't really have anybody come to my house at all times and pick things up. There's just no like access for that. So I have to do all the installs. So if I go, I install it, I know it's been put up properly. I can make sure those are going to last a long time. They're not flimsy little canopies. They're pretty decent quality. So as long as they're installed correctly, anchored properly, you shouldn't have any problems. They should last you a while.
Yeah, you know what? All you have to do is tighten the screws. When they come back or before you give it to the guy, make sure the screws are tightened. Okay, that's I would say that's the biggest thing. And I'm talking about the screws on the trusses. So like pretty much in the centers. What you can also use some sort of like, although I don't like this in case you want to repair but I know another guy who uses like Loctite. So that the screws pretty much just sit there forever. Right. And I would say just and give it a check. Also for the tops, this is a cleaning tips for the tops of 10 by 10s, especially like the fire rated ones. We take them to a dry cleaner. Okay, before we were dicking around. Sorry for the anyway. And no, we just take them to dry cleaner, and the ones are like they charge us like $15 a top, which is like, man, that's not bad. And the only thing is, after it comes back from the dry cleaner, I would say it's slightly like yellowish. Like
really,
it's very subtle, but it's not so white, because like the dirt, I guess, mixes with the tent, and so it comes back like slightly off white, but it's still much better than having like random streaks and stains that are really hard to remove otherwise.
For sure, yeah.
But those 10 by 10s like are, like once people know you have them and you start rolling on those, like you can almost not have enough. And
that's where I'm at right now. I literally just picked these things up. I put an ad on Kijiji. Like I market on Kijiji all the time. That's like the main place, that and like Facebook Marketplace. But I put them up on Kijiji, like its own ad, canopies for rent, whatever. And my phone started ringing. I started getting messages on Kijiji. I just booked 6 canopy jobs for one's in March, April, May. I think one's in June as well. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, okay, that's a $200 job. That's a $200 job. Like I'm making the money back so fast on these canopies. The season hasn't even really begun yet. And people are calling for them. So I'm like, thank God I bought them this year.
Yeah. And like, what's your policy right now with cancellations in regards to that?
I'm super like lenient. 14 days prior to your event, I'll give you your deposit back. So I might change that, but up to 2 weeks before, I'm pretty confident that with my little inventory, I can get it out.
Yeah, and like you have a day job right now to back things up, so I don't think it's the end of the world. For us, like being bigger, you kind of really need, like what we did is we made for after COVID hit. It's basically 25%, not refundable, but give us 8 weeks notice, and you can you can move your event date and keep full credit intact to a different so like people have that option, and even if they're like, oh, we'll cancel, it's like, well, we might need tables and chairs, so that makes sense. So
now, how long will you let them extend it to? Like whenever they want, or like till next year if they want to extend their event?
Yeah, exactly. So there is no actual date. I would suppose it'd be kind of awkward if they're like, well, we'll do it in 2030.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, cool.
Like, I don't know, but so far, like there are a few people that actually moved it to 222, which we might lose a little bit because we increased the prices over time for sure.
Right.
But whatever. I mean, a few jobs like out of the ordinary or with lower prices in the future. Yeah, I mean, we just want things to flow and to get money going. So that's nice. Like, it's kind of exciting. I mean, you bought those tents, and you just did your van. I mean, I think that's
right. Yeah. So getting the van wrapped, that was like an easy decision. So I just picked this van up like 2 weeks ago, right? So I haven't even had it that long. I picked it up, and then I was looking. So I was ordering like t-shirts and like uniforms, I guess, through like Vistaprint, and I was looking at like the magnet option, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna cost me like $300 for 3 little dinky magnets. And then I just called this like local printing company, and they're like, they sent me this quote. They're like, we'll do this for $700. I was like, done. Like that, it's just, you can't go wrong. It looks great. It's simple. Just name, like the logo, my phone number, my website, my Facebook, my Instagram. Super simple, super clean looking, and for just a little more than double the price of those little magnets that will probably end up falling off or, just stop working after like a year.
Yeah. I was just telling my wife how much like magnet like the cars with magnet things like suck. So I'm like, man, those magnet advertisements, like you're a loser if you have those. Which is funny because like I was kind of joking around, but like, you can tell it's a magnet, like you can tell that, hey, that guy is using his car for a professional purpose, and then also for like enjoyment. So
that's what I mean. Like he just wants to take it on off. I think that's cool. You can take it off, right? I mean, if you're, I don't know, doing something stupid and you want to take the magnet off, whatever, you can do that. You can take it off when you're just on your personal time. But for me, I'm just like, let's get the name out there. Let's get as many people seeing this thing. I find with a magnet, I see people driving by with them all the time. I can't read anything on them. You know what I mean? Unless you're like right behind them in like, 401 traffic, and you're looking right at it. I guess you can see it then. But at least with like, when you get the vinyl lettering done or vinyl imaging done, you can put that logo massively across your van, across your truck, and people see it. So are they going to call you? I don't know, but are they going to remember the name? Probably. If it's simple, your logo's clean looking and it's in their face, right?
Yeah, like over time, like it's definitely going to get that money back. I mean, how many hundreds of people drive by? Plus, it looks more professional. It looks like you can charge more.
I think so too. Yeah.
Like it justifies that charging more, like in a psychological sense.
Right.
If you just pull up and you're like, but if you're branded, like you're already branded and you're not even out fulfilling.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like last year when I was doing it all, like, Kijiji Cashwork stuff, I was pulling up to people's houses in this like loud lifted F-150, and I'm just like, I was your typical cash worker, like pulling up. I'm like, okay, I got to change this. I got to, do a better job at, I don't want to show up to people's house and they're like, is that the tent guy? No, it is the tent guy. He's pulling up now. Right.
Right. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And then, I mean, I don't know. Did you increase your prices after you got the van and everything?
In a sense. So like when I was doing the cash stuff, I was kind of just like, I would aim high, but be willing to drop in price like $50 or $60. Now I've kind of just like looked at my competition, and I'm like, I've just shot my price points $10 lower than what they are on just about everything, just in hopes that, I could drum up some business. So like, the typical 20 by 20, it goes for like $350 where I am without walls, everything like that. So I just put it for $340. People do like, I think like $1 a foot for walls. So I just did 75 cents a foot. So you got a 20-foot wall, people charge like $20. I'll do 75 cents a foot rather than $1 on them. So everything's just a little bit cheaper. And then hopefully, as I start to grow a little bit, I'm probably going to lift my prices back up to just compete with those guys.
Right. Yeah, and like yeah, that's the natural trend. And I know right now it's okay, that's true. Actually, like Carlos, and actually we'll get to Ryan's comment as well. I haven't read it, but it looks like a legit question here. But before we get to Ryan's, he's saying, and that's true. That's the only thing that I would say is kind of a pain in the butt, especially in Calgary, out where I live. It seems like the cops are a little bit more, especially the commercial people are a little bit more, like they might pull you over. That's you will have more stuff. Yeah. So just make sure everything is intact. You got your papers, you got your mileage, whatever you need, whatever the legal stuff is, that will help you, because those people are definitely looking for something to just give you a ticket on. Like they're just psychos. Yeah. Did you get it commercially stickered?
I got, so, okay, my dog's barking, my wife.
That's all right.
So, he'll stop in a minute. So basically right now I'm still licensed or insured personally. I got to switch that over to commercial. That's something I got to do like now because I'm starting to do rentals and stuff. So, I do got to get that all sorted out. Froze on me.
Yeah. Okay. So we're back. I guess I don't know what technical issues, but I think we lost footage for a second.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You totally froze. Come here. This dog's going nuts. Hang on.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you froze too, or whatever.
Okay.
So what's Ryan's comment here? Do you guys recommend stopping in businesses to give them a business card pamphlet? I'm running social media ads, Google ads, but I'm thinking of trying different methods. What do you think of that?
Recommend stopping in business to give them a business card. I mean, like, if I see somebody passing by, like, when I'm doing a job, I'll just, like, if I'm putting a tent up at somebody's front lawn, somebody's passing by, I got cards in the truck. I'll just fire them off. Neighbors usually come by and look anyway, right? So when they do that, I just, I throw cards out like crazy. They're cheap to get, so throw them out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like, it's hit and miss. Like sometimes when you're doing jobs, like you're kind of focused on that. And I think the methods you're doing there, Ryan, work pretty well. Like we would have to kind of delve into where you're at and like your other stuff. Keep hustling, don't like, I don't know, like a lot of times people come in here to the store and they give us a business card, at least pre-COVID, and most of the time I would toss that, just honestly, like we would be too busy, and like I don't know what they're selling. They're always trying to sell something, which I'm in the zone, so like I don't really want their stuff. So I think if you're just starting there, Ryan, Google and social media, again, Facebook is good. You got to be creative. There's some real good ones, but they're so you keep trying stuff, see what's working, and then focus on what's converting better. Like make sure you keep track of that stuff and see where your calls are coming from. So, I got a question for you actually, and we'll be short. I guess, I don't know, your dog wants a walk or something.
Yeah.
But like, what are you gonna do to be different? Like you just started, because that's important. Like, it might not be important at the beginning, but I think over time, like, I think it's important
to be different. You know what? It's so early to see what my niche is going to be. I'm not even 100% sure yet. Like, I'm sticking to the basics right now. And I think that's kind of what I'm going for right now, is just offer, the simplicity of tents, tables, chairs. Don't overcomplicate it. If somebody wants a tent, they're going to call me. If somebody wants tables, chairs, they're going to call me. Like, really nail that stuff. Don't really try and rush into the whole dinnerware and all that stuff. I know it's great add-ons and stuff, but I'm just in the beginning stages. So I don't know what's going to make me different yet. I have no clue. I haven't even thought about that, to be honest. Like, I'm just trying to nail the basics down. I don't know. I'm just, friendly service at a great price. That's all I can really offer right now.
Right. Okay. So what, and the other question too, and they kind of tie together, is like, what's your ideal client? And these are both questions that people who like start a business don't always think of, but they're very important as you grow. And so it's important to get the seeds of these questions, like plant these seeds so that, as you like look around and, as you see, then you're like, oh, like, because as the companies that are like really good are usually different. And if you have an ideal client, you want to be different to attract that ideal client.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, what is your what is your ideal client, unless you don't know?
I think it's just homeowners right now. Ideal client, homeowners, backyard parties. I'm not really looking for the larger client that's super, super picky on things. Obviously, I'm providing clean rentals, but I just want it easygoing, relaxed atmosphere, maybe a baby shower in a backyard, or a birthday party in a backyard where they're just happy with the product and they're not nitpicking. And it's not like a bride. I'm not there yet, right? Like,
right.
If I had to deal with like a bride right now that was, oh, there's a little spot of dirt on that tent, I'd be like, I'm cleaning them the best I can. I know brides can be, very picky with things. So ideal client is just a homeowner that's looking for a quality item to put up in their backyard.
Okay, so one thing, I don't know, you're not asking for advice necessarily. Although I guess before you're like, if you have tips or
any sort of tips, yeah,
throw them out. So maybe you are asking a little bit. But one thing I noticed is don't be afraid, because I was so afraid of brides and weddings and stuff like that. But actually, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's like the weirdest thing. Like there's nothing to be afraid of.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think in general, fear really prevents us from like taking that big job or like doing this. You know what I mean? Like it's really fear, and mostly that fear is just like a psychological thing, and there's really nothing to be afraid of.
It is, yeah. Like I mean, it's not that I'm afraid, but I guess there is that little underlying level of being like, what are they going to think? Are my rentals going to be up to par with what they were hoping for, right? So there is a bit of a fear there, but I mean, yeah, like you said, the only way you're going to get those clients to move up is just, I guess, by not worrying about that and just going for it, right?
The other thing too, and this doesn't pertain to every single case, is like when I just toured a big warehouse. Unfortunately, I have no footage of it because there was just an impromptu thing. One of my competitors called me down, and I toured his place, and it's massive plates. Okay, and I could just tell you, great event rentals. Okay, and I think they changed their name to Modern Event Rentals. They are up in Calgary, and they compete with the biggest with Special, which is pretty much the biggest in Western Canada. And their place is huge. But I noticed with some of these bigger companies, the employees don't care about their individual items. They're just tossing them. They're stacked nicely, but if things are coming and going, they're not cleaned as well when you're small, and they're not taken care of as much. So I know at the beginning I was like, oh, is it clean enough? Is it clean enough? Like, it really, like, people like, you'd be surprised. Like, it doesn't have to be shiny. It's an event rental item. And so we actually got out of that mind. Like, we would try to clean it as best as possible, but we're not obsessing about it like we did in year one or year two, So it's just an observation. And plus, your stuff is going to last longer because you're handling it yourself.
Exactly.
You're not like everything. A lot of these tables that the big companies are, they're just completely like scuffed up, and they just work fine. And usually the people don't even care that much. Like,
it's true. Like, I mean, when I bought those used chairs when I first started, I actually just bought a few more used chairs just because they worked out for me the first time around. So I went and I bought more. But like, I was looking at them, I'm like, oh, they're a little scuffed up. Like, people are going to care. I started dropping them off. Nobody said a word about them. So I did end up buying new ones, but I can tell they're different. But the typical person that just wants outdoor rental chairs, like white chairs for their backyard, they're not really looking at that. So like, I was so worried about them. Like, oh, they're all scuffed up. People are going to say something. Nobody said anything about them.
Yeah, no, exactly. People are, like, as long as, like, I would say they're not dirty, like muddy, or so we do look through them and make sure they're not like covered. And we're obviously gonna, again, like, clean them and stuff, but we're not obsessed like we were at the beginning. We're always like, oh no, they're not clean enough. It's like, they're clean.
They're good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing, it is nice to have like clean tent tops.
For sure.
Like, they don't have to be perfect. Again, they don't have to be perfect, especially if it's not a wedding. but like again, like it's like you'd be surprised. Like people don't really look up. First of all, like,
It's true. Like I mean, I like every tent I put up, I clean it before I leave. After like when I put it up, I give it a wipe down, and then when I pick it back up, I wipe it down. So
right.
I spend that extra little bit of time. I know it does eat up some time, but my tents are always super clean. So to me, it makes sense to do it that way rather than just let it go. And plus, you know, they're something. I worked for a guy like how I got in the whole industry. Like I worked for a guy that didn't clean his tents, and they were just filthy all the time, and I felt embarrassed sometimes putting them up. So from that, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to make it my thing. Every time I put a tent up, I give it a wipe down before I pack it back away. Another wipe down. That's just how it goes.
Right. And yeah, like that's what I noticed too. Like if you're in the game for 40 years, like you just be like, I'm surprised some of these products that these like competitors have are so like filthy.
Right.
And yeah, like so you shouldn't be like too worried about your stuff because like the big guys have filthy things. Although
For sure.
I think the brand, like we're definitely going to try to keep things cleaner because we always ask ourselves, why should you choose us versus the competitor? You know,
exactly.
There should always be multiple reasons why they're choosing you. You know, and one of them, it should be like items are clean. We have other items like easy, quicker booking process. So you jump on our website, it's a quick booking process. Like some of these bigger guys, they have departments. Like you gotta call, then get transferred, and then so we have a quick booking process. Items are clean, good response time. Like all this helps in obtaining clients, which is probably good advice for people that maybe never thought of that and will be watching this video
for sure
later. But yeah, in terms of branding, the other thing is like it could be as simple as color. And we you know what, like our branding isn't the best either. We're not extra different, but like I noticed. Remember back in the day when everybody came out with orange? There was like the like this kind of like bright, fun,
in your face kind of thing. Yeah,
and then everybody kind of copied that. But I thought that was like that's a good example, like just some kind of like unique color, and boom, like people just have that in their memory. It could be that
for
simple.
Sure.
Picnic City asked like about program we use. So I use Good Shuffle as well there. We talked about that earlier on in the video. And yeah, I guess you're probably not using a program yet, or
I just kind of keep track of everything with Google Calendars, and that's it. I'm still way too small to even, not way too small. Like I guess I could start implementing these things. But yeah, as of right now, I just kind of track everything, move it over to my Google Calendar, and that's just how I roll.
Okay, so what I would recommend if you're just starting is Wave. It's free. It's called Wave Invoicing.
Okay.
It's absolutely free, and then you can accept credit cards. So
cool. Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Wave. A bunch of other people I know started with Wave. And again, accept credit cards. I mean, boom, you're
yeah. So I don't accept credit cards right now, but I should, I guess. I just do all my, like I have a template for an invoice I made with Word or whatever, and then I just send that off, accept a deposit through e-transfer, and then I just accept check or cash on the day of install.
Right. And in a way, that's good because you're not paying any fees, and credit cards, like, you know, there's some problems, you can get chargebacks and stuff like that. Sure. You definitely expand your client base, and you look slightly more professional, I say, if you do are able to accept credit cards. Like some people just like for event companies, they just kind of like assume it's a credit card. Yeah. So check out Wave for sure. And then
I'll write that down actually.
If anybody's getting started here watching this and they're like, you know, I don't have a payment process, Wave is great because, again, it's free. Other than, like, if you're doing a credit card transaction, they do the normal 2.9% or whatever. Yeah. They all kind of do that 2.9% thing. I mean, that's how they make their money. You can't blame them on that. Just charge 3% more, and then you cover yourself there.
For sure.
But, yeah, so it was a good chat, and, like, hopefully I didn't talk too much. Like
no, you're good, man. Like, again, like I said, I'm still kind of getting used to being on camera and stuff. So no, coming on live with you for the first time was super cool.
Yeah. So yeah, check out his stuff. It's not in the description yet, but I'm gonna add it to the description of this video. And check out. He has a YouTube channel. I just noticed. I didn't even know. There's like 2 crappy videos.
I got like 2 views. There's like maybe 3 videos. Yeah, like nobody's watching anything. I'm also not like promoting it anywhere. I just kind of was like, yeah, let's try this out, right?
Yeah. So if you get a few subs from this, maybe it'll be more inspiring to post stuff. And
for sure. Yeah, it won't be so awkward. I'm like, oh, okay, I spent 2 hours making this video and 3 people watching it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I know how you feel, by the way.
Hey, I'm hoping maybe it picks up one day.
Like, it takes time for it to gain the momentum and stuff like that. But,
Right.
and I mean, it's nice to watch other people's videos because, hey, you always learn something new. You're like, oh, well, that's how that guy does it. And
exactly.
Then,
I do it all the time. Like I get on YouTube and I just kind of fall down those traps. Like the YouTube, I just get swamped in videos and one video leads to the next and all of a sudden 3 hours has passed. I'm like, I got to go to bed.
Yeah. YouTube is easy to get lost in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But sweet. Yeah, it was good. It was a pleasure talking to you. We'll end the broadcast for the people here. And thanks for everybody for joining us. And we'll see you.